Hey, welcome in. It's another Thursday night in El Hombre's Cocktail Lounge, and no hombre, no Sean, nobody but me. But that's okay. We're here. We got a little Woodbine action going on. Let's make some bets and make some money. What do you think? How's everybody doing? Not a lot in here right now. Five, what's up, Bobby D? Good to see you here as always. I think if I'm going to talk to myself all night and make it through, I'm going to need a few beers. What? It is the Cocktail Lounge, so let's see what we can do. Looks like the third race just finished up. Pretty chalky so far. Couple of chalky winners and one not so, but most of it's kind of 1-2 on top with the favorites so far. But let's see if we can break into that, do a little better, find some value, and make some money. Decent fields at Woodbine as always, so hopefully we can make a little bit. Even that exacta in the last race paid almost $20 for $2, so we'll see what we can do and see if we can make some money. What's up, Colin? Everybody deserted me, man. I myself was wondering if I was going to make it, and then I saw the comments in our chat that everybody was going to not be here or be late, so I decided to run and jump in. I ran in the house, had no dinner, had enough time to pour a beer and have a seat and turn everything on. So we'll see what we can do to get going here and make a little money. You want to come on, Colin? Go ahead. Come on in. That way I don't have to talk to myself all night, but I can do that if need be for the calls. It's for the calls. Making a little money, entertaining the people. I'll just sit here and entertain myself. Hopefully we get a few more viewers in here. We're up to 6 in here. Drop your name if you're in the chat. Let me know you're here. Let's see who's checking in. Tell me what you're drinking. I'm having a little Founder's Porter, my usual, the go-to. But I've been right there all week, so I'm feeling that maybe tonight's the night we break through and get some picks home and are able to cash a few tickets, because I've been all around everything for a while. Everything I've hit has been small. The big ones are right there, but I've got half of it, whether it be the value play or the value play just missing. So tonight is going to be the night. What is up, Keith? Riders Up is riding solo. Let's see what we can do, though. So it looks like in this fourth race coming up, we got a maiden 10,000 race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, for a claiming price of $10,000. We originally had a field of 11, 2 also eligibles. We had the 1 scratch out, so the 12 draws in. The 13's a scratch, did not draw into the race, but we got a field of 11. Not too shabby. Always like to double check the also eligibles when they draw into the race. But we're going 7.5. We're on the inner turf. So 2 turns on the inner turf for 7.5. And right now, it looks like the 7 horse is the lukewarm favorite at 7-2. The 10 horse, interestingly, was your 3-1 morning line favorite and is now floated up to 8-1. Do something here real quick. Get us set up to be able to watch the races. Hey, let me know if you're in the chat, if you can hear that volume. I've been working on my settings here to make sure that I could get that in. Is anyone out there? Bobby, can you hear that?
And did you know that this sire has yet to have a winner on Churchill Downs? So hopefully this horse will have some success on the grass. To this point, it's been a bit of a contest. It has, and like you said, there's really not much to go off the sire.
All right, good. We can hear. So I think I've got that solved with my inputs. How about that? Is that a little better? Lost what? What we lose, Colin? You lost the sound.
Now, this was kind of a last minute toss when it comes to our pick four in here because I have seen this.
I'm struggling with the sound. I don't know the way I've got everything set up here that when I play video in the background, I can hear everything, but it's only picking up for you guys through my microphone, and then that causes feedback for me. So I just went ahead and muted that. I'll try to get the sound back on right as they go to the post. I'll see if we can get at least the race call here, but looks like the 7's taking a bit of money right now as the favorite. So this horse coming off a layoff, though, been out since November of 23. Of course, if you look in the last race, I had a question about the 5 horse. Just came off the layoff, had one race back on the 6th of July, and then that was on turf, and then came back and went off as a favorite and won. So we've already had one that I wasn't really sure was ready to run and did. So I do have questions about the 7 here. So you look at the works and nothing jumps off the page, but I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with Patrick Dixon and his pattern. So that share tab audio. I'm trying to find it. Where does it say that? Anyway, so Campbell's not riding super well, in particular for this rider. He's 38 mounts and only 3%. So I'm gonna pass on the 7 on top at a price. I told you I like a horse drawing in off of the also eligible list, and this 12 horse I think really fits in here. This is a maiden 10, and if you look, this horse has been running against much better here at Woodbine, and I'm pretty sure that is going to like the drop here. So I want to watch and see if it at least starts to take a little more money. But the 12 is definitely interesting to me. When you get beyond that one, I think you have to look at the ones, the 3 and the 10. I'm surprised that only one of your consensus picks there on the screen has the 10 and has them picked fourth. This was your morning line favorite. So interesting there. If you look at this 10 horse, gets nickels up for Sido. So fourth off a layoff and has been competitive, has a second and a third, a couple back. Last race was a 6 furlong. So this is 7.5 now. And in addition to that, gets to the turf. I think the first time on turf might benefit this horse. So not taking money though. So that's a little bit concerning. We will see what happens there. But the 3, I think, is definitely the one that kind of looks to me looks to the best on paper. Gets Sophia up for the second time. Another one that's been on the synthetic and coming back to the turf did have a race back in May here at Woodbine on the turf, and that one wasn't great at 1 mile and a 16th. So cutting back in distance here, I think the distance is a little more friendly. You look at those 2 mile and a 16th races, and then the cut back to 7 furlongs, and the horse was right there. So 7.5 here probably fits the horse, the level, and back on the grass. So I think, especially with Sophia up, you got to respect that. We will take a look here. That looks a little more like it with the 10. The 7's a play against on top for me. I think you have to use the 7 underneath here. Another one that last year was racing against much better, started off in maiden special weights before dropping down to the $40,000 and the $25,000 level, and now comes back first race of this year at the 10,000 level. But again, we say it a lot here on Thursday night. Are they trying to get rid of the horse and take the 10,000 and cut the losses? We shall see. All right, they're on the track. We got 8 minutes left. Take a look and see what we like here. We'll say that the 6 looks the best of the horses I've seen so far. And I was just looking that the 6 is now the favorite in here, at a lukewarm favorite at 4-1. So money to be made here. Let's come up with the right combo. Let's see what we've got. I think the 12 looks really good. I'm going to take a shot at making this 12 a piece for sure. All right. All right, there's our $100 bankroll to get things rolling. What's everybody liking here? I see Bobby D 3-4 with 12 and 6 because the 13 is out. Not a lot of turf experience in here if you're looking. That's what I was going through the PPs and looking again. So if you're looking at turf experience, starting inside, no races, 1-0 in the money, no races, no races. 1 race not in the money, 2 races not in the money, no races, no races, no races. And 2-0 in the money, 1 not in the money. So somebody is breaking the streak. That means we got to find the winner. I think this 12 seems to have the best numbers for wanting to go on the turf. We are definitely going to key that one. We just got to take a look and see who we're keying him with here. Who we like? Anybody else in the chat got any thoughts? I hate to leave the 10 out as the morning line favorite. The 7's got to go underneath, and I think the 3. So I think I've got an idea. Yeah, Dan, I mean, the 3, 7, and 10 is definitely, it seems like the 3 numbers across the board that even everyone, all of their on-track handicappers were picking as well. Most people had those numbers. I'm still struggling. I'm looking at the 7 again, and I guess underneath, but you know, I'm just gonna play against here. I feel like I'm gonna stick to my gut. If you've been around, you know that's what I typically do. So let's see what we got here. All right. So there's our official cocktail lounge pick here for the 4th race. I'm going to key this 12 in an exacta box with the 3, 6, and 10. Fading the 7 out of the top 2 positions. 9-2 favoritism, folks. If you've got an opinion in here, play it here. I'm going to take this down for just a second. Because the exactas are paying pretty well. So right now, if you're looking at the exacta probables in here, the 7-3 is the lowest exacta at $46 for two. And as I say that, it just clicked over to the 10-7, $45.70. $45.70, the lowest exacta on the board. So if you've got an opinion, play it here for sure. There's mine up there, 12 with 3, 6, 10 is what I'm going with. I like the 6 more than the 7. And all of a sudden the 6 has clicked down to favorite. Again, very lukewarm favorite at 7-2. But let's see if we can get some sound. You guys let me know. Is that track sound coming through? What's up, Travis? I'll tell you, if you like a horse in here, win place. These odds are crazy. Are you guys getting that track audio? Exactly, especially at these odds, Dan. If you hit this one, you're going to the bank. Love this 12. Let's go. Come on with this 12. Get that 10 up. Get that 10 up.
Finishing strongly down the outside and out wide at Plastic Glory. Mrs. Hot Shot coming to the wire and wins by a length.
Boom.
Plastic Glory third and fourth is in it to win it.
We will take that. 10-6. Nice hit to start it off. Let's go. Let's go. Gotta love that. Boom. Big start. Yeah, it was 12-6. Let's go. Only 9 people in the lounge, and we're starting off with a big payday. Come on, people. Where are you at? I know it's just me in here, but let me take a look at that payout real quick. 12-6 for $2. $115.90, folks. $115.90. Let's go. Big hit. Let's go. Bring it home. Doing it for the people. Where's everybody at? Loved the 12. That's a way to kick things off. Got that one myself. I hope everybody else hit that one. And the only reason that it went down a little bit is because everybody in the lounge is getting a little piece of that one. How about that? 8-1 over 5-1. A 5-1 favorite. Are you kidding me? What's up, Firsty? Hope you were in here before that one kicked off. We just had a big triple-digit exacta in the cocktail lounge. Drinks all around. Dan, I appreciate it. You flatter me, but you don't have to wait for me. You do you, buddy. I say it all the time. But I also said coming into tonight, I felt pretty good tonight. There was something about it as I was looking at everything. I was like, I think this might be a night that we can hit a little bit of something. Yeah, absolutely. And I called that 6 in the post parade, Dan, as well. Said I thought that he looked the best in the post parade, and talked about him taking over favoritism and liking him over the 7. And that's why we put in 3-6-10 and not 3-7-10, is because I like the 6 more. Loved it. Big hit to start off. Let's keep that rolling. I'll have to take my shoes off to count my money. We are in Kentucky, so at least I am. No worries, Dan. If you hit, you hit. Doesn't matter how you get there. Gotta love it. Let's see this payout. That wager only cost us $12. Look at that, 115.90. 115.90. So we profited 103.90. Doubling up our money in the first race. Let's go. Change the bankroll here. Look at that. One race in and our bankroll is from 100 to 203.90. Let's see what we like in the next one. Good job, Dan. That is the way we like to kick things off. Take this out for a second. Cannot beat that. How about that 12-6-8 try? I would have never had the 8, but for $1, 16.20. Congrats if you had that, and that super's outrageous. 14,000 for $1. I'm gonna try, Dan. We've only got 4 more races, and it's over early. It's not like Monday night to where we're here till midnight. So yeah, I'll be here for the next 4 races. So pop back in if you can. I think somebody might pop in here with me in a little bit. Umbre talked about maybe being able to join late, and I think Colin, if he can get his kids down, might jump in. But if not, it doesn't matter. We're here to make money. Let's see what we can do. Gotta love it. So in our next race here, we are off the turf. We've got a race for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 9,000 twice, other than maiden claiming a restricted allowance for 2-year-old and 3-year-old restricted estate. So basically an option claimer, 50,000 conditional, off the turf, going 6 furlongs. We've got the 2 horses scratched out, the 5 horses scratched out. So we've only got a field, a lot different look in this race, only a field of 5. But let's get a winner here. Put the 2 and the 5 out. Let's see what we like here. So 1 horse has been off since the 15th of March, coming back. Got some decent works. 2's out. The 3 horse is coming off a layoff from the 17th of December. So this is a horse, though. He's 8 for 11 in the money at Woodbine. 4 wins, 3 seconds, and a first. So not bad there. The 4 horse here, second off a layoff, just had a race back on the 30th of June, going 6 furlongs here on the synthetic. And in that race was from the 6-0, was early speed, was just off the speed early in second, did head a horse as they hit the half, and then as they went into the stretch was second, and then finished third by 3 3/4. Definitely can improve off of that second time out. This is another horse here at Woodbine, is 6 for 8 in the money, has not run at this distance. 6 horse, I'm a Gambler. Our guy Pietro Moran up. This is a horse that previously had run on the West Coast, had some races at Santa Anita before racing in the grade 3 San Francisco's at Golden Gate. A lot of turf races here, so came into Woodbine, ran an optional claimer here. Third, beaten only a length and 3/4 to who would have probably been your favorite. Lost in that race, was third to a horse that was second, and there was the 5 who scratched out of here. This horse is probably going to be the favorite and is currently at 7 to 5. So definitely see that definite class here. This horse has been running in graded stakes and out on the West Coast. Ran against none other than the Chosen Brawn. So in this race, number 7 is another one coming second off a layoff. This horse was also in the same race as the 4. And in that race, this horse was the horse that was second to the 4's third. So nice close up. Came out of the 5-hole in that one. So familiar with the outside, was in the 10-hole before that, the 8-hole before that. So the 7-hole in a 5-horse field. So as they move in, the 7 position, which is really going to be the 5-hole. Doesn't concern me in here. Not outside a lot. Small field. Another one, 8 for 12 at Woodbine. Only 2 wins. More underneath finishes here for the 7. But another race at 6 furlongs, if it improves off of that, definitely could be a part here. This one is really interesting, though. This horse, although he ran at Woodbine last year, earlier this year, he started out back in January, raced at Gulfstream, and then raced again in March at Gulfstream before being claimed from Safi. And in that race that the horse was claimed in, did win that race. Definitely has some early speed in here. The 3 horse looks like early speed, likes to be on the run, on the lead. The 4 just off of that. The 6 is a closer, and the 7 is another one off the pace here. So 6 is probably going to be closing from deepest based on what we saw in that last race. I like somebody a little closer. I don't know. I'm starting to lean towards this 7 a little bit. What do you guys think? What's everybody think in the chat? Let's see if we can get another winner here. No thoughts? Is anybody still here? Anybody out there? Come on, we just made $100. Got to be some talk going on there. Who do we like? Or we can just talk about what we're drinking. We're one day from the weekend. Let's go. A little Jim Dandy action this weekend. Should be a good race. You missed it, Colin. We had a big hit over $100 in our exacta in the very first race. Profited 103. Marv is boxing the 1, 6, and 7 in a try here. I can definitely see that. You know, it's hard for me to leave this 4 out here. Trying to figure out, as we look at this, who can we leave out? I mean, the 1 would right off the bat be the first thing off the top of my head. Only because, yeah, I've been off since March. I know the horse ran and did okay at this level last year at Woodbine for Martin Drexler, but was racing racing down in Gulfstream for Safi. So a claim off of Safi. Those are horses that I kind of tend to steer away from a little bit here, although this one is in for the tag, so 47,500. Gets Saheen up. So that's definitely a positive.
Was in this race in the stretch. That was a monstrous group of horses. I think there were 12 runners, and this horse was on the outside of the starting gate. And, we thought that was going to hinder him, but not at all. He ends up coming on with a really good third place effort from off the pace. Well, for him to be a major player in here, he is a favorite baseball.
Like I said, it's Mike Matheson. Took him a few races to get going last year, but then he finally got good there. And I thought his comeback race was actually fantastic. The way that race is going to show up coming up and against Cape competition on the weekend program.
Are you guys able to hear that? Oh, it would help if I unmute my mic. I was trying to get the sound through for the horses. Were you guys able to hear that when they were just talking about the horses or not? Interesting that the selections here. Thanks, Colin. Love you too. The selections here taking the 7. I thought everybody was going to gravitate to the 6, which is what I wanted because I like the 7 more. Like the 7 a lot. The horse I don't like here is the 1. The 1 is the one I would fade and the one that everybody is putting in, but that is definitely a horse that I don't know. Does at Woodbine has been 4 for 6. So I get that. At the distance is 4 for 6 in the money. And when I say 4 for 6, 4 wins out of 6 races at Woodbine. At the distance has 4 in the money finishes, but out of all of those 4 wins, only 1 win came at this distance. And then there was a second and a couple of thirds. And if you look at the level of those, that was about this level.
This race sees the scratches and 2 losses.
Exactly, Keith. Big hit in the first one right off the bat. We had a big field and the odds were crazy. I think the horse that went off as a favorite was like 7-2, 4-1. We hit an exacta with an 8-1 over 5-1. The horse I loved that we keyed in an exacta box was the horse that won the race. Love to see it. Sean checking in, leaving me out here. But that's okay, Sean. We're going to make some money and build a bankroll for you to spend with me next week. Hopefully we'll get a couple of folks on. I think maybe Ombre is in the background trying to get ready to jump on with me, help me out. We will see. We shall see. One is now the favorite. Both the 1 and the 6 are 2-1, but the 1's taking slightly more money. Pietro up again. Sophia. Last time this 7-1, Sophia was up. Horses 3-1. Let's see who tries to go warm the horse up for the win. 4's wanting a good lather. How's the volume now? Is that a little better? We'll crank it up a little bit. Is that better? I agree 6 is a class. There's no doubt about that one. All right, good. I cranked it up a little bit. I'm trying to get the sound to work. I don't know what it is with my setup that when I share my screen, I can hear the additional the volume of the additional window that I'm bringing up, but my mic is picking up the volume and that's all you guys hear. So when I try to get it up, I turn my mic volume down to try to get that to come through without the feedback, but it's just not working. So we'll do it without the sound. Sean, you're with me. I love the 7. And that's exactly what I said. I'm fading the 1. And you know what? It's just like I think I got to play here though. We'll see and watch the horses here. So we're gonna get crazy, but I love the 7 here. All right. All right, 1 minute to post here in the fifth. We'll go ahead and put out my official bet as I go in. I'm going to play a $2 try, 7 with 6 with 3-4, and 7 with 3-4 with 6. Surprisingly, they snuck up on me a little bit here with the 1 minute to post, and they're already loading up in the gate. So that's crazy to me. They are off. Let's see if we can get this one home. And our 7 goes straight out to the lead. 4 stalking just off of that one. 1's back in third on the rail. I have to say, I didn't really expect the 7 to be out on the lead so early, but does have the speed to be able to stay with these guys. Don't know why that does that. Here comes that 6 on the outside. We just need the 7 to hold. Come on, 7, 6, and 3, 4, or 7, 3, 4, and 6. 6 is going to go by them. Come on, 7, rally back on the rail. That was my fear with that bet, that the 6 was just going to be much the best. We did have the 7-4 with them, and fading that 1. We did fade the 1, so. I should have basically just keyed those 6 and 7 on top. Those 2 were much the best. Made sense. And that 4 is who I love the next. Talked about that 4 a lot. Did not like the 1 at all. Finishes in 4th. Wow, 7 broke quite a bit to the outside there as well. So that didn't help. Breaking to the outside and then going all the way to the rail. Our guy Pietro wins again. Guy's on fire. All right, Dan, you got your 6, so hopefully your $10 doubles 3, 4, 8. Good luck with that one. Yeah, I honestly didn't get the 1, Dan. You know, it's an angle that I just don't like playing claims off a Safi. I don't care how long ago it was. Nine to 5 is not horrible. And just taking a quick look here. So 6-7 was paying $16.20 for $2. Not horrible. 6-1 was your favorite in the exacta pool, so they could have all of that money because I wasn't playing that one. All right, so we will just regroup. Only lost $8 in that one. Still way up. Let's adjust the bankroll here. Still 195.90. taking a while here with the payouts. All right, you know what we say, 9, 10, 11 at Colonial for Blair. Good to see you, Blair. I haven't even looked at another track lately. I've been playing Assiniboia early in the week when we do the Monday night lights, and Woodbine on Thursday, and not a lot more right now. Got a lot going on, so haven't been playing a ton. Just kind of waiting for all of the fall races here to get started here pretty soon. All the Breeders' Cup preps to start cranking up, start getting ready for Breeders' Cup, taking a little breather until then. Taking a breather for the breeders. All right, looks like in race 6, we've got a 5.5 furlong race on the synthetic. It is a claiming race, $25,000 for 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of a race since May 25th allowed a couple pounds. In this race, we originally had a field of 9, but the 9 and the 1 are scratched. So now we're left with a field of 7. We'll run down them here in a second and take a look. Let this go official. Just surprised with the way that last race kind of shaped up there. Did not expect the 7 to be out on the lead with others who had shown speed previously. So definitely impacted things, but went a little fast there too. 1/4 and 22. Was smoking up top, 45 and 2 to the half. Did hold off the 4 pretty well through the stretch, but the 6 just had a little bit too much for him. All right, let's take a look here in the next race. So that 1 is scratched in the 2 horse. We've got Spite Store here for Richard Morden. We've got our friend Abley up, getting the 5-pound allowance. This horse is coming off a race on the grass. Has 20 races at Woodbine, 4 wins, 8 in the money. At this distance is 3 wins out of 6 races at the distance here of 5.5 furlongs. Definitely prefers to be on the synthetic. Not sure what that grass race was last out, unless it was just a race for maybe some additional conditioning of some sort, or get a race off of the previous win and bring him back. Has a workout on the 21st of July. Interesting 2 furlong workout. You don't see lots of those on the workout tab. 24 and 4. So definite speed. This horse seems to come from just off the pace. Jimmy's Big Day is the 3 for Paul Buttigieg. Gets Emma Jane Wilson up. This horse has been off on a layoff since May. Last race in 25 claimers here at Woodbine. Workouts look really sharp. That workout back on 12 July worked 4 furlongs and 47 and 3, 3rd of 55, and then worked again a week later back on the 19th, 4 furlongs and 48 and 4. This horse has 12 races at Woodbine, 3 wins, 2 at this distance, no wins. This was a horse earlier on that I had used in my non-winners of 2 angle previously. 4 is Courageous Copper. Sophia Vivius gets up on this one. Another 5-pound allowance. 4 races at Woodbine, 3 in the money with a win, and 15 races at the distance, 8 times in the money out of 15 races. So consistently there. KK's been riding this horse, now gets Sophia. Horse is racing previously in optional claiming races primarily. Getting back to a little bit of a different level here. One to consider. 5 Super Success. This one's definitely going to be your favorite. For Martin Drexler, gets Saheen up. This is a horse 11 for 24 with 5 wins out of 24 starts. At Woodbine, 9 for 14 in the money at the distance. Saheen and Drexler hit at about 26% in 184 starts this year. So definitely a pair you have to fear. What's up, Grandma? Good to see you in the chat. We're a couple races in. They left me to myself tonight, so glad you could join us. Determined Fury is the 6 horse in here. Gets Contreras up, 3rd off a layoff. Been racing here at the $25,000 level, comes back in at this level. Consistently in the money. This horse at Woodbine has 8 races and 6 in the money, 2 wins, 3 for 6 in the money at the distance with 1 win. Out of the 2 races at Woodbine so far this year has gone 5.5 and 6 furlongs. Now we're going 5.5 again. And this horse in those races was 3rd and 2nd. Last race led throughout, just getting beat by a half a length to the 5, who is your overwhelming favorite in here. So the 6 at 9-1 after just getting beat by your 2-1 favorite in the last race. Don't see that. So maybe one to consider here. We'll come back to the 6. The 7 horse ready for a fight. Mike Dunslow trained. Patrick Husbands gets up for this one. This one was just claimed last out. They're putting blinkers on. So new barn, first time off a claim. Numbers aren't good there. First time blinkers. So this is one of those horses that my friend Sean Patrick Nolan would say they're just throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this one. Too many changes for me in one race. We will pass. The 8 Air Combat, Norm McKnight, Hernandez rides. This horse, this one was interesting when I was looking at the PPs here. This one's been running a little bit longer. Typically doesn't run these shorter distances, 5.5 furlongs. Only has run 1 time at the distance and finished 2nd in that race. If you look, this horse can show early speed, but typically is just off of the early speed. Raced last time out on the 16th of June here, but since then has come back with 2 workouts. Had a bullet workout on the 3rd of June, 4 furlongs, went 47 flat, best of 27 for the day, and then came back on the 12th with another 4 furlong work at 48 and 3. So I like the works, coming straight back. This is a horse who only has a couple of races on the synthetic. So one that looks like we might want to at least consider here. Numbers look pretty good, and this horse should like the synthetic, even though that last race out, coming in from Oakland, this horse though has been running against Bettor, and I think is one we should consider including. That's what the field looks like. What are they looking like in the paddock? What's everybody think out there? Grandma, we started on a heater right here. I don't know if you were here when we started our very first race, but we hit an exacta first race out of the box for a little over $100 to get us started. Not a bad way to start. We just missed in the last one. We played a couple of trifectas, and we played the top two horses. We had them backwards, and I should have played them both ways, but I did not play the favorite on top. Taking a look in the paddock here is how all the horses look. What's everybody think? Chatter's a little down tonight, for starting off on a heater and being close last race. Not a lot of opinions. Just in here talking to myself. Courageous Copper says, look at me. It's a pretty good win. Last time out. Two back, excuse me. So for this horse at this distance before that turf race. So I think you line through that turf race and you say that this horse fits very well, looks great in the paddock. 7-1. I like that. What do you like in here, Sean? I think we can beat this 5. Yeah, Dan, I agree. The 4 looks really good to me in the paddock. And I like the 4 a lot. You love the 5. I mean, I see it. But the other thing I talked about, Sean, was, the 6 was just beat a half a length by the 5 last time out. And this time is 6-1. If the 5 is the favorite at 2-1, why is the 6 6-1? Yeah, Dan, that's kind of what I see. I get it. I see it. I see, the connections and Saheen and Drexler and this horse won last out. But, I look 3 back. If you look 3 back, that horse was a even money favorite in that race, finished 3rd in there. Of course, that wasn't Saheen on board, but that was at this distance. And if you look, the horse was closing up, and the 6 furlongs seemed to fit the horse a little bit better, although the distance record for this horse fits. He's 9 for 14 in the money with 3 wins. But if anything, I think he's an underneath play for me here. I agree, Sean. The value's on the 6, and from an appearance perspective, and I talked about the horses. I kind of went through the PPs a little bit here, but I like this 4 as well. The 4 looks really good, and I think the 4 could come right back and run a big effort. Yeah, Dan, that's another one. The 8 Air Combat's another one that I said come in running against Bettor, running allowance class, running at Oakline, better horses, and came in here first time out. Only has a couple of races on the synthetic, but is bred to like the synthetic, should do pretty decent in here. So maybe can move forward a little bit for a piece underneath. I don't think the horse is a win candidate, but I definitely think that the horse could finish underneath in here. And the fact that this horse is 5-1 while the 6 is 6-1, I still don't get. Absolutely. Definitely running against Better and was claimed out of that race. You can see in that race was Steve Asmussen trained, and then they took the horse and they moved him up to an allowance class, and that was a little bit over his head. Although it looks like they had Keith Asmussen ride even in that one, so he rode back. Had been riding the horse previously, but dropped him back down when they brought him into Woodbine here. Definitely needs a little bit. Needed a little bit here. They had been off since April, so that was back in June. Bring the horse back here. Horse has a couple of works, and I talked about if you look, Dan, that work, that bullet work on 3 July. So I I think the horse might have just needed that last race, getting back to the synthetic. I definitely think the horse could be involved here, but looks like they're kind of playing what we're seeing here. 4, 5, 6, and 8 is kind of the way I see it, those horses. Not necessarily in that order. We'll take a look here as I head out to the track. Jackpot high five carryovers over 5,000 if that's your thing. Not my bet. Four still looks a little bit fired up. Yeah, Dan, you and me both. I don't play Saratoga. I've played every race I played there. I'm not sure I've cashed a ticket, so I don't play there a lot. I play a couple of the big days and the big races, but I just don't do well up there. Stay away. I know where I do okay, and I concentrate on those tracks. Eight looks really good. Four still fighting the pony. I like the energy. I'm not sure I like the combativeness. Yeah, Sean, they said no turf racing in September. So they've already scalped the track and did some transplants and did some treatments to the track and everything, but nothing in September, and hopefully be ready for the rest of the fall racing. But I agree. I don't know why they can't. Churchill Downs struggles to grow grass. They should hire me. My grass looks great. All right. I'm going to take that off for a second, take a look at a couple of things here real quick. So let's take a look at some probables here. 5-6 in the exacta pool is your favored, your lowest paying exact at $23.80. After that, everything is 30 or 40 with the 5 on top. Your will pays, everything with the 5, the double to the 5, the pick 3 to the 5, and the pick 5 also to the 5. Interestingly, in the pick 5, the pick 3, just those two. In the pick 5 and the pick 3, the 7 is actually your second lowest will pay. In the double, it's 5, 6, 7. All right, we got a couple of minutes here. Let's see where we're at. All right, this is how we're going to approach this race. I'm going to play a $5 exacta box, 5 and 6, and then I'm going to play a $2 trifecta, 5-6 with 5-6 with 4, 7, and 8. So that's $10 on that exacta, and that try is $12. So that's a $22 play. You could obviously reduce those if your budget doesn't allow for that, but play $1, 50-cent tries. $1 would be $6 and 50 cents would only be 3. You could lower the exacta box for a couple bucks for $1, whatever your budget is. And if you don't like those, play it another way. A lot of people also will take an exacta box like that 5-6 in the way I played it, play that try that way, and then also take that try and play the 5-6 with the 4, 7, 8 with the 5-6, just in case one of those horses splits the 2 that we have on top. You would lose your exacta, but the try would make up for it. Going in the gate.
She could ask drives behind the gate. We have ready for a fight. Patrick Husband. Moves in to gate 7 and combat. Rafael Hernandez to the outside gate. Offense racing away in combat.
Eight's getting a good jump. 4 from the middle. There's that 4 with all that energy we talked about.
The inside 5 scores for the horses. Jimmy's big day. Back to second last in the early stages, ready for a 5 and combat after beginning.
Sophia taking that 4 out there.
The Rangers covering the lead for Sophia Vives by a length. Being attacked by Super
They went gate to wire 2 back. Can they do it again?
The challenge right behind them, determined Fury on the outside, and combat is winding up. Back to the tail end, Jimmy's big day. Spike Store on the inside as they corner a bunch of fair and not wide on the track. Going the lead narrowly, ready for a fight. Kicking on is Courageous Recovery. Combat coming forward and Super Success. A line of 4 in the center. Super Success trying to go on by. And back to the outside, Air Combat. Air Combat.
Our 6 is not going to get there. It's the 2 horses I loved underneath, the 4 and the 8. There's that 8. Class. 8, 4, and 5. The 2 horses we thought looked good and not the ones that we handicapped on the paper. The 5, 6 was the paper and the 4, 8 was the eyes. The 6 did nothing. Disappointing. Disappointment.
First round number 8 in combat. Second 4 Courageous Copper. Third 5 Super Success. 47 ready for the fight. 8 4 5 7.
Well, if you were listening to what I was saying and not betting what we bet, Jen, that was definitely an Ocho kind of bet. And we talked about that horse coming in from Oakland, being the class. Got here just in time for the Ocho. So Dan, I think you had the double there, right? I think that was double to the 8 at 7 to 1. Gotta love that. Sean, where was there 8888 pick 4? I missed that one. Nice, good job, Dan. Dan had a big hit, exacta, and the $10 double. Rafael Hernandez gets the win. And we talked about that horse coming in, shipping in, the workouts looked good. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. We're all geniuses afterwards. That's a great and exacta though, 8-4. Both horses we talked about 146. Gotta love that. And then the 8-4 with the 5 on the try, 214 for $1. That was very doable. Guys, I'm going to leave you to watch the track feed for about 10 seconds while I grab a refill. And I'm back. Got to stay hydrated. All this talking to myself here. Little Founder's Porter. What's everybody drinking? It is a cocktail lounge. You got to have a cocktail. You got to have a beer. You got to have something. It's one day from the weekend. Kick it off. Have a drink. Relax. Bet some horses. Win some money. All the above. Topo Chico. Bobby D bringing in the wine action. I am spoiled when it comes to wines after living in Europe for 14 years and most of those in Spain and Italy and the good wines over there and my trips to Tuscany and sampling the wines at the vineyards and all the good Riojas around Spain. I am spoiled when it comes to red wine. Gotta love it. Sean had to come in here and say that just when I was getting ready to say that this one here is another one that I think is not an on top play. Maybe your favorite and one I was fading. What I do like right off the bat, this is like that race that we kicked it off with. So less horses in here. We got a field of 6, but when your favorite is 3-1 and you got 2 other horses at 3-1 and then you got 7-2, 9-2, and 9-1, sounds like money. Just sounds like money. All right, let's see what we got here. On the inner turf course, 7.5 furlongs. Fillies and mares 3-year-old and up, which have never won 3 races or conditional. So 40,000 optional claimer. Look at the one. Saheen getting up for Martin Drexler. Haven't we seen that before? Hard to argue with 26%. Coming out of a race at this distance, at this level, just finished a good second. Interestingly, was also on the rail in that last race. in a 9-horse field. Started out 6th, finished second, beaten 2 3/4. Definitely could move forward off of that. But does not have a win at Woodbine. Lots of in the money on the turf, that is. Oh, got you, Sean. Used to be Catherine's. Oh, I see that. Yep. So it was claimed from them back in May. Swinging Mandy, Mark Cassie, Sophia Vives. This is another one coming. This horse coming off a 1 1/16 race on the turf. That was also on the inner. Kind of faded in that one, but to be expected at that distance. I don't think that's the distance this horse wants. Best races when you go back were those around 7 furlongs, and this is 7.5. Third off a layoff. Couple works since the last race. 5 Cardio Princess. Gets Pietro up. This horse is second off a layoff in that last one at a 25 claiming level. Was closing up, beaten just a length and a quarter while drifting out in the stretch. Gets Moran back up. I think it's definitely a horse that you have to consider here. 6 is out. The 7, Sarah's Dancer. This was the one horse in here, claimed two back off of Patrick Dixon, Devin Borland. He's 1 for 1, and that was with this one. So but I'm not sure this horse fits in this race as much. Best races were at the straight claiming level, a little bit lower than this. We'll see how they look. I think this is going to be an interesting race. And the odds show that surely, but just I don't think anybody really stands out. I'm just trying to look and see where we're going to go and what kind of stands out to me the most. So this is 7.5 on the inner turf. If you remember back when we kicked off the night with a win, that was our 12 horse who went to the lead and didn't look back. So I'm looking in this race and I'm trying to figure out where's the speed. And I see a lot of horses that want to be just off the speed that have maybe flashed it once or twice, but I see one horse to me that I think wants the lead and wants to be out front. And the horse is getting a 5-pound allowance, and Sophia Viva is on the front end. I like the two on top for that reason. So this is a horse I think that if they let Sophia get alone on the front end, based on what we saw in that last race at this on the turf at this distance, if the track is still playing the same, maybe she just gets out there and runs away. What's up, Trisha? Four is really starting to take money. It's clicked down to 6-5. Husband's sticking around to ride this one. Speed figures this one has put up the last 2 times out. Basically, make her tough. The one horse that I think in here could definitely move forward and right now isn't getting a lot of play is the 5 horse. I think the 5 coming back into Woodbine had been at Gulfstream, left there in March, came back, has one race, as we talked about, in June, which was a decent race with Pietro up. Pietro gets back up. This is another one that I think, especially at the distance that was closing up in that race at 6 furlongs, probably wants a little more distance. Could be a threat here. Super excited, ecstatic, Sean. You know me. Love that KK is coming back in. He knows I've been crying big elephant tears since he left. It makes it so much easier for me to see the cards and see the performance and not have to worry about KK. It's just like anytime I bet a card here in Kentucky and there's a race and I don't have to deal with Tyler Gaffleon. All right. We picked him out in the post parade last race, even though we didn't bet him. So let's take a look. 4 with 125 looked like on looks. I definitely liked how the 4 looked. I don't like the odds. Not excited by the 1. All right, what's everybody think? All alone out here. Let's go. Let's put this together. Last 2 races. Let's finish up strong. We started off strong. We got to finish strong. Take another quick look. 1 is now your 7-5 favorite. I'm just not convinced there. The lines make sense. I get it. All right. What do you think, folks? I think I got mine. I'm going to take that off for a second while I put mine in, and then we'll take a quick look at the probables. So right now, 1-2 is your favorite exact at 1630. Don't like the one on top at all. I will pass for that one. Most of the other exactas are in that 30-40 range, some a little more, mostly with the 7, who I think is a toss. I say that and he'll probably win. All right. I think I've decided here in the seventh race, basically, I'm going to play a $2 trifecta key. I'm going to go with the speed on the lead like we did when we started off at a price a little bit here, 2 with the 145 underneath. So we're going to play a $2 tri key. That will cost you $12. If I was going to play exactas, you could even play the same thing in an exacta. And they're headed to the gate. Get loaded up here for the seventh. One more race to go. Let's cash in this one. Finish up strong. And go home winners. I see a lot of people on the one. I get it. I really do. I'm just going to try to beat the one. I would never try to talk anybody off of the one. I know exactly why the one in this particular race is 8-5. But the two surprisingly has dropped to 2-1, and I really didn't expect that, honestly. Thought we might get a little bit of a price. But yeah, Tricia, I mean, I keyed 1, 4, and 5, but I could definitely see 2, 1 with the others without a doubt. I think I can beat the one. I'm not sure if we can get the one out of second. But we're going to see if Sophia can take them gate to wire.
Retail therapist is the right for Patrick Pastor.
Good luck to everyone. I see all the bets coming in.
Is almost ready. Set to run.
Get her out, Sophia. Get her out there and run away, Sophia.
Setting a trick pace in front.
Don't look back. Keep going. Keep going, Sophia. Keep going.
Wriggling forward, 45-70, getting ground. Behind them, Cardio Princess and catching ground. Sarah's down to the inside. Turning in front, swinging Mandy first for home. Taken on by, she makes a point. Up the rail, Sarah's down.
Run away, Sophia.
Cardio Princess, swinging Mandy in front. From she makes a point.
Don't let him, Sophia. Don't let him, Sophia. Get that 5 up. Come on, Sophia.
But she makes a point. The race favorite coming on to score by 2 lengths. A swinging Mandy, Cardio Princess third. Back fourth, Sarah's Dancer. 129.58.
I get it. I get it. Hard to argue with that. I thought she had it for a minute. Thought she was going to hold him off. We had the 5 coming. Should have played the top two both ways. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Quarter, 23 and 1, half a mile, 46 and 2 and 3/4, 1 and 10 and 3, the 7/8, 123 and 1, time 129.58. Winner number 1, she makes a point over 2, Swinging Mandy, in third 5, Cardio Princess, order 7, Sarah's Dancer, 1, 2, 5, 7.
I think a lot of people had that one. I know Dan had it, Blair had it. Definitely looked like those horses. Just wanted to beat that one. That's all right, Dan. Cashing is cashing. Another one could have played it both ways on top with the 1 and 2. They definitely look like the 2 best. Should have done it that way, but took a stand to beat them. If you've been around here long enough, you know that's the way I do it. Conviction, take a stand. I don't think it's a lot. I think those are your 3 horses most people had there, Keith. I'm guessing, you know, that I think it was like a $15 exacta. So the try for a dollar maybe pays $25. I don't think it pays a lot.
Most consistent runners on the ground. She makes a point, has had terrific in the money finishes today back to the winners list. That is winner number 3, or she makes a point. This is Darth Brown, 6-year-old man, 5 point entry, and she's ordained. The winning breeders, Keith McDowell, third Rachel McClellan, Terrier, Randy Exelby with another success here. Marty Drexler, the trainer, and a double up for Sami Savachi. Earlier in the night, we saw a massive win by Bitcoin. Now a success for double for owner and rider. And Marty Drexler, the winning trainer on this occasion, she makes a point, returns 490. Exacta has paid $15.30 to try, $19.50. The super 1257, 121.45. 8-1 double 57.10. The pick 3 77.85. Any of the 256 in the first leg, and the big 4, $665.05. The first leg winner, the 12 in the swinger bet. 1-2 just $1.80, 1-5 $2.35, and 2-5 $2.25.
So the $1 try was not even what I thought it would pay. $19. People just hammered that 125. That's why I was trying to beat the horse. Pays a little better the other way around. But if you had that one, congratulations. Let's finish up strong. We're still up. We got a bankroll of 161, started with $100. And in the next race here, we've got a 10-horse race. maidens at that should get a price. And I got a horse I really like. So we'll take a look here in a second. Let me know if you got a strong opinion in this last one. We'll take a look at everybody's thoughts here in the 8th. I'll go through the conditions and everything here in a second. Just trying to pull everything up here.
And a big fat leader on the inside, she makes a point. Headed by a swinging Mandy, right there is 45-7, the retail therapist. Back second last, Cardio Princess, and Port White at the back, Sarah's Dancer. Swinging Mandy's bottom of the front as they turn up the stretch by over length. Second of over 45-7, she makes a point. 1.5 to retail therapist, Cardio Princess, and last early Sarah's Dancer. Free wheeling is swinging Mandy into the back stretch and leads the way by 2 lengths. Up to second, 45-70, shading, she makes a point. Back then, retail therapist, second last, Cardio Princess, and last, Sarah's Dancer. Setting a true pace in front, swinging into the opening corner, it's 23-1 by a length of 3/4. In second is 45-70, and after she makes a point in third, trying to get a little bit of a breather, swinging Mandy, back forward, retail therapist, Cardio Princess, second last, and yet to tack on, Sarah's Dancer 2 away. As they reach the 3/8, swinging Mandy off the turn by over a length. Coming forward is retail therapist, 3 wide, gives you a threat. Up the rail, she makes a point, moving forward, 45-70, getting ground. Behind them, Cardio Princess and catching ground. Sarah's Dancer the inside, turning in front, swinging Mandy first for home, taken on by, she makes a point. Up the rail, Sarah's Dancer coming on and down the outside. Cardio Princess, swinging Mandy in front.
I was thinking she was home here right until this point right here. What's up, Junior? All right, we got one more. Field of 10. I've got a strong opinion. And right now, doesn't look horrible as far as the horse that I liked. It's not the price that I was hoping for just yet, but it may get there. We'll see. Sean, shh, spoiler alert. Sean's trying to spoil my mojo here. All right. So in this race, we got a maiden filly and mare, 3-year-olds and up, $15,000 claiming. And in this race, we got the one horse is a first-time starter for Robert Tiller, getting Sophia Vivas up. Has some okay works. Obviously getting the 5-pound weight break. The 2, I don't know if it's Rohese, we'll call it. This one, to me, getting blinkers for the first time, but I just, out of all the maidens in here, 6-time maiden, and I looked at this one, and it was just pretty much a toss for me. Even though the horse was maiden special weight and definitely dropping down a little bit here. Not seeing it, not feeling it. The 3 Firebolt. This was another one that, if you look, was claimed first time out here at Woodbine, and then came back at a little bit of a higher level, even ran in a maiden special weight before going maiden optional claimer last time out at a little bit of a higher level. But faded pretty badly in all but the first start. Although we are getting back to 5.5 furlongs here, but that last one at 5 furlongs, beaten two back, 11 and a quarter lengths. I'll pass on that one. Featherweight, the 4, getting Saheen up. We already know he's won 2 tonight. This is a level this horse basically should perform at. Maiden 15, this horse has been racing against a little bit better. If you go back and see the maiden 15s that this horse started out with, finished up with ably up on that last one, a good second back in May. So definitely a good level. If you look at that workout before the last race on the 28th of June, that was a good workout as well. So the horse has early speed here, but has yet to sustain any kind of distance, even at the 5.5 furlongs we're going here. So then we get into the 5 Speedy Rose. This is a horse who had one start last year back in November, has been off since then. And comes back here, gets Gaskin up for Buttigieg. This is a pair that, even though that they've only had 4 races, they won one of those 4. So 25%, and that was a 935 ROI. So not too bad. They do hit at a price, have hit at a price. The 7 Crimson Knights, this is the one I love in here. I just think that this horse really has been the most consistent of everyone. Dropped down to this level last time out. Sean talked about it right here. Horse has been facing much better here at Woodbine. 5.5, I think, is the distance. I think this horse, I think she breaks her maiden tonight. I think she's the one that wins the race. Laney Grace, the next one, was another one that they've been dropping this horse and still haven't found anything. And it's a horse that I'll take a pass on, just like with the 9 Lagregia. The 10 Summer Holiday is a little bit interesting, gets Pietro up. 2 back at 5.5, was a nice closing second, just beaten by a head in that particular race, then came back at 6.5, showed some ability to close up a little bit in the middle of that race, but faded given the distance. I think we'll prefer the 5.5, so could be a factor in here for the 10. And the 11 is another one that just seems just a little bit behind some of the better horses in here. So we'll take a look. Let me know what you think. Dan says the 4 is his top choice. Getting Saheen, hard to argue with. I mean, this is another one that I talked about when this horse was at this level. If you look 3 back, when this horse was at this level, was very competitive in that last race. Saheen is a definite upgrade, although this horse had Nichols at a different level last time out, and that was on the turf. Go back to the synthetics. That's where this horse belongs. Gets back on the synthetic here, and it is definitely going to be more competitive and play a part in here. But I absolutely love the 7. To me, it was 7, 5, and 4 in here. That's the way I saw the race when I handicapped it. Those were my 3. Let me know what you think in the chat. 7, 5, and 4 is what I saw. I was trying to find somebody else to maybe get us a price. You know, interesting thing, I was just looking at the will pays in here, and the interesting thing about the will pays is that in the pick 6, I believe it's a pick 6, but there are only 2 horses in here that it's a full payout. The others are all 5 or 6. The one is the 7. That's the favorite in all of the horizontals. The other one is the first time starter of the 1. That's the only one that's a full payout of the pick 6. Everything else, every other horse in this race is 5 out of 6. Every other horse is 5 out of 6. So only 7 and 1 take the full pool. 6 pay 6 out of 6. I'm double check that now to make sure that is right. Yeah, in the pick 6. So in the pick 6, the 7 is paying 6 out of 6, 19.25. The 1 is actually the favorite in the pick six is paying 962 for 6 out of 6. Everything else is a 5 out of 6. Every other horse in this race is paying 5 out of 6. And if you look at the doubles also have the 7 on top, followed closely by the 4 and the 5. The pick 3 has the 5 on top, followed closely by the 4 and the 7. So followed by the 1, 4, and 7 in the pick 3. And the 1, as I mentioned, is actually the lowest full 6 out of 6 payout at 962. Pretty interesting that the first time starter along with the 7. But makes me actually love the 7 more and just wonder about the 1. So riders up here. Everybody loves a little riders up, right?
For today, so 14-1 price to start off the day. No, pardon me, to start off the day, that was
That was an initial horse.
to start off the day with 4-1 winner, a good sin, that started off the day. Biggest price of the night, a couple big to 1 shots, and this is Hot Shots and Eric. Comeback from that.
And a good night tonight for the bug riders, as we said. Get from around with a couple of winners on the program. Then, of course, Sutton Sabachi with a couple of winners. So the journeymen were able to bring home some tallies as well on today's card. This was a tough race. You know, looking back at it, Jeff, some of these horses that won, it still was a pick.
Yeah.
So I think it was a really tough card to handicap. If you got any of them, good for you.
We're going to give it another go tomorrow. We have 8 tomorrow, 10 Saturday, 10 coming up on Sunday. Card racing as well. Stakes this weekend.
Yes. Going to have a lot of fun with the stakes event. I mean, as we talked about off the top today, we're really excited about the return of Patches O'Houlihan for Bob Toll. Looking forward to that on the Sunday program.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. So be note that first race post time tomorrow will be at 1:05. Very much looking forward to seeing you then. We'll have a pregame show for you at 12. On the track.
All right, we're headed out to the track for the final race of the night. Let's see if we can hit here. Jen, do we have an Ocho at 13-1? Hard to like the Ocho for me. So not surprised to see the 7 up there so much. Interesting, the morning line favorite was the 1 in here. So I guess maybe that explains why so many people had that horse in the pick 6, and it's the lowest paying pick 6 just based on the morning line. But you'll notice not a lot of people have the 1 in their picks. 5, 4, and 7 seem to be the picks. Those are the ones I kind of gravitated to in here. Not that order. I had 7, 5, and 4. But let's see if we can get a price. All right, let's take a look on the track, see who we like. Let me know who you like in the chat. Let's finish up winners here. We came in winners. Let's go out winners. Five looks pretty good. Let's see what horse is a 5-2 favorite. Like the 7. Trying to get a good look at this first time starter.
First grade race 8, 1 is Bowman Drive. Bowman Drive's riders, Sophia Vives for Robert Tiller and Rolfe Davis. 2 of these for Williams. And the trainer is Noel Williams with Amanda Vandermeer. 3-5, all trained by and raced by Dominic Polsinelli. The rider is Emilio Francis. Number 4, featherweight. The Santino de Paula and the Octet Racing Stable with Sahid Sivaji. 5, Speedy Rose, trained by Buddy, trained set for Buddy. The Sean Gaskin, the rider. 6 is our Lehman Farms with number 7, Crimson Knights, trained by David Cody, the rider Sky Chanel. 8, Laney Grace, Sylvester Olivier, owner trainer, Jockey Juan Crawford. 9, La Vigia, RCC Racing Stable Limited, owners trained by John McTeamy with Fraser Abley. We're going to check it out with another winner tonight that has the 10 Summer Holiday, as is Norm McKnight, the trainer and the rider, Pietro Mara. And 11 is Fulcra, the Pier 1 Stable, Angus Buckton and Jose Campos. This race will conclude our program, so don't forget the jackpot high five available. 4 minutes, race 8.
So interesting. A horse that caught my eye in the, as they were coming out and in the post parade was the 9 with Abley up. This is a horse that I think looks really good on the track. The 2 races this horse has had don't look like a lot, but they were at a much higher level. And who knows, maybe this horse moves forward on the drop down. Had a decent work back on the 5th of July. Before that last race, so maybe this is a better level. Did show some early speed in that last race before fading at 7 furlongs and was actually steadied in that last race. So maybe if this horse has figured it out, drops down level 5.5 furlongs, 23-1, looks good on the track. Jen, I definitely agree. The 4, Sahin's another one. If Sahin on the 4 or Pietro on the 10 win, they get 3 wins on the card. They both have 2 wins tonight. So, but there's your 4 right there. It looks really good on the track. Like the 4.
Just a reminder, we have big races coming up on the weekend. Racing for tomorrow with 8 races to be decided. Don't forget the big races are the Seagram Cup, the Ontario Colleen on Saturday and Sunday. Lloyd.
All right, to finish it off, we're going to do an exacta key box. This is what we did when we started it off and we had a good hit. So we're going to key this 4 in an exacta with the 5 and the 7. That's 4 with the 5, 7 on top, 5, 7 with the 4 underneath. Cost you at $5 would cost you $20 for the total bet. Yeah, Dan, when I looked at this race, I mean, I see a few. It's hard to know what the first time starter is going to do. So obviously you throw that one out. But I think the 4 is one that's definitely going to want part of the lead. The 7 is probably going to want to be a part of that or be just off of that. So, and I think the 9 is another one based on that last race. The 9 could actually show some early speed. So I'm looking for those horses to be right there. And for that reason, with the 4 most likely being just off it, I'm hoping that we get, or excuse me, the 7 being just off. I'm hoping that the 4 goes out, the 7 sits off, and basically is able to come on and win at the end. So
Because we're off the road here. At one drive. Steps in. So 2 rookies. Fireball. For Emilio Francis to gate number 3. Harry's Fireball to go forward.
so let's see if we can bring it home here at the end. And Dan, I personally I played this exact bet, but in a trifecta, I played that 9 underneath. I think this 9 is one that looked really good. The 9 is one that I definitely picked out as looking the best on the track. Gets Pietro up. I mean, or Fernando, excuse me, Fraser Abley up here, who has been riding well at Woodbine this year. So let's see if we can get this one home. Everything's paying pretty well though. 7-2 lukewarm favorite on the 5, who just clicked over to our 7 horse, who I like the best. 3-1 on top. If you really like somebody here, I'd say go win place. Forget the exotics. Go win place. The board looks good. Money to be made. And the 5 just went back to favoritism at 5-2. So 5's taking some late money here. 7 sitting at 3-1. 4 at 4-1. Those are the horses that kind of stand out. But that 9 at 28-1, I think, can figure underneath at a price. First time starter at 5-1. 4th in the favoritism. And remember, one of only 2 that will pay 6 of 6 in the pick 6. The 1 and the 7 pay 6 of 6. Everything else is a 5 of 6 here.
Run of this pedal and go in and side on, back and forward a bit. Third line start. Lady Grace going up.
Yeah, Dan, there's nothing wrong with ever passing on a race or you know, just play something, play a couple of bucks on something just to have a rooting interest and just not worry about it, you know. But I totally get it.
Yeah. Okay, number 9.
Here we go. And it's the last race. Got to have some skin in the game. Here we go. Last horse going in. Good luck.
Summer Holiday.
Let's go out on top.
7-1 off.
The 8 at Woodbine.
Supported the previous 2 tries. Well fresh. First down. Full press still pick up. Now full prayer and the cross. Coming up. Full prayer moves in. All in. On their way. And the back of the tail as they whack this boat on drive.
First time starter did not get out of the gate. Not a factor.
On the inside, handy 5-0 and Speedy Rose is back to contest the lead as well as
There goes that 9.
Richie joined by Speedy Rose behind the main flight featherweight, and back in next berth is Summer Holiday. Towards the inside, getting away from them, Roe Keys and Lady Grace in the center making ground. A long last, Beaumont Drive. Going clear, Speedy Rose on the inside from Lundrichia. Length and a half full crowd. 5 on the inside. Then came Crimson Knights and up the rails featherweight. A break Summer Holiday, Roe Keys, Lady Grace, and a long last is Beaumont Drive. Speedy Rose helping in the narrowly in front, tested on the outside by full crowd. They turn in front of
So Heen's behind horses looking for room. Here he comes up inside. Here goes my 7.
big winner. Crimson Knights, a polished display, and Crimson Knights by about 2.5 lengths of featherweight.
Payday.
Next from Summer Holiday.
Payday 741. We'll take that. All day 7-4. All day. Gotta love it. Gotta take a quick peek. 7-4 if you paid that. $30.20 for a $2 wager. So if you played the 5 like we did, you're gonna get back about $75. Let's go.
23 and 1, and the half a mile in 47 and 1, 9 and 2 to 5 8, the final time 1 6 9 100.
Nice, nice, nice. That one did come back. So definitely one to watch. I would put that one in your stables. Beaumont Drive, the one, the first time starter, did not get out of the gate, was last and came with a big rush on the outside. You can see right here in the picture, ends up finishing third. It does come 7-4-1. Only winners, baby. Only winners in the lounge. 19 people watching. Make sure you click that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Come on, we had 2 big wins. We won coming in. We won going out. Going to be about at least, what, 130, 230 or so. Gotta love it.
It was 10 Summer Holiday numbers 741.
5 totally faded there. Thank you, Trish. Bookends, baby. Winners in, winners out. Riders up. Gotta love it. We'll check the payouts and call it a night here in the cocktail lounge. Hope everybody had a great time. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Check out all the good racing this weekend. Jim Dandy going on.
Knights persevering and gets that to the quarter point.
Don't forget Monday Night Lights at Assiniboia. We'll be back for that.
Sweet Crimson, trained by David Cody. Bred by John Perry and Archie Leon.
Love it. Sean tried to give away my horse here. Yeah, Jen, I'm jealous. I'm hoping to finally make it to Del Mar for Breeders' Cup. There we go. 7-4, 1-3-10. Thank you, my friend. We will see you back on soon, without a doubt. Check the payouts here. Hope everybody had that one. I hope you got that one. Hope you got it big. Cash it. Let's go. You know, Dan, it's crazy. We were talking, you know, here it was, big race, hard to have an opinion, you know, and this is what I say all the time. Have an opinion, bet with conviction. It doesn't have to be big. And you know, it's crazy the way that works out sometime. Gotta love it. Let's go make it official. All right. Anybody got any big tips for the weekend? Anybody got a horse they love? Drop it in the chat. Let everybody know. I haven't even checked, if I'm being honest. Haven't even looked, but tell me what you like. Hopefully everybody can take what we did tonight and turn that into bigger money over the weekend. Best of luck to everyone with all your wagers. Always a good time in the cocktail lounge with all of you. You are why I sat here for a couple of hours and talked to myself, staring at my monitor. Gotta love it. Awesome, Dan. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Supporting the channel. Don't forget, if you guys are really interested, check out that, you see scrolling on the bottom, that payhip.com/trusttheprofits. You'll get the premium membership and the picks of the Trust the Profits. Here we go. $2 exacta, 7.4, paid 30.20. So we got that for 75. We had a $20 wager, so 55.50. 55.50 to the good. Not bad. Add that to our 161.90 for the night. 217.40. There you have it on the bottom. We started out with a bankroll of $100. And based on just a couple of wins, remember, sometimes it only takes one or two. We more than doubled up our bankroll. Finished with $217.40 on the night. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining. Again, make sure that, thanks, Grandma. Thanks for being here. Glad everybody could join us. Glad we could make a little bit of money. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure that, like the video before you go. Thanks for being with me. We'll see you Monday night for Monday Night Lights at Assiniboia.